Alright, today we are doing Phosani's Nightmare. This boss is actually kind of a nightmare, but with Varlamore coming out in a week, the price of Harmonized Orb is skyrocketing, so it's a good time to see if you can get spooned a lucky drop with a few kills here. So getting into gear right away, Inquisitor is best for your crush weapon. Um, but you can also just use Bandos. I see some people in here using even worse gear like Obsidian or whatever. It all depends on how fast you want to kill the boss and how many mistakes you're willing to make over a longer fight. Bring your best offensive gear though. Mythical Cape for the crush bonus. I have seen some people using Fang here. Apparently that works. At which point just use your Fire Cape or whatever. If you're not bringing a spec weapon, just use your Berserker Ring or the upgraded one from Desert Treasure. A spec weapon isn't entirely necessary, it just helps with the last phase and it speeds things up a bit, especially with Light Bear. Voidwaker is apparently the best spec weapon. Declaws would be fine too, or just, don't even bother with one. And then it does help to have a super fast weapon like a ham joint or the free event RPG, just like the ham joint because it looks cooler. Elder Maul to be able to one-shot the parasites. You can also use a God Sword on Crush, but again, Elder Maul looks cooler. Bring a Mage Switch. This is actually, I regret selling my Sang Staff because it really does help heal some health from any minor mistakes that you might make with like the husks during the pillar phase. But Trident of the Swamp is like just as much DPS, so it doesn't really matter. Bring a ranged weapon for the Sleepwalkers. A blowpipe would work, but Webweaver honestly is just nice because it's fast and has a longer range. And then you do need either Sandfew Serum or Mycelium Balm or whatever. The bonus of Sandfew is that it restores your prayer, but it's like, 100 times more expensive. Bring a Divine Super Combat, some prayer potions, and runes for summoning your greater thralls. So you need your book too. And then I have a 2-dose stamina pot that was in this slot that I used to run here from the Verisin Haza teleport. And then the rest, Anglerfish is nice since you can kind of overheal and just make sure you're not wasting any food on there. This is probably overkill once you're good at the boss, but it's enough to get you through like 3 mistakes worth of eating here, as long as they're not consecutive mistakes, because then you're dead. All right, so let's just jump in. I recorded a decent kill here, and obviously I'm not very good at this yet. I've only done like 50 kills, and I'm bad at the game. But bear with me. I'll point out my mistakes. So it is, I guess, really important to note. Sorry, one more thing before we get in here. Keep auto retaliate off. Your spec on for your weapon to start with. Just make sure that auto retaliate is off. And yeah, all right, back to the video here. So once it tells you that there's like 5 seconds left, then that's when I usually pot up, summon my thrall, get piety, and protect for melee on. Now there is an audio cue for like every one of his abilities that's really, really helpful. So I'll just kind of go over them. I know it's kind of hard to hear on the video, but yeah, this cracking sound, that's the ranged attack. Use your specs up there and then switch to your bludgeon. That whooshing sound, that's the mage attack. And the melee attack kind of sounds like a screeching Armadyl crossbow spec. All right, so when he teleports to the edge of the map, he's going to dash across. If you get caught in that, it's like 70 damage, so stay away from that. You're going to just be attacking him to bring his shield down here until it's at 0, and then the pillar phase begins. And there's like 4 of those phases, so we're going to be attacking him down while he does his special attacks. Praying as he does each of his normal attacks here. You can camp with Protect from Melee on because it is harder to react to that, but you'll get the hang of it, and it's really not that hard to switch to it when you hear it coming, as long as you have your prayers open or have them mapped to like a mouse button or something fast that you can quick switch to your prayer book. All right, so this is one of his special attacks. He does random order of these in Phosani's Nightmare. So when the little faces, that means the husk is coming. So you need to equip your ham joint. If you are not already meleeing him, you do need to have like 3. You either need a torture amulet on, and piety, and super combat, you need two of those things. So let me say that again. You need piety and super combat active, or your torture amulet and one of those as well, like super combat or piety. So you can get by with not switching to a full melee setup if you're maging. But when these spawn, you do want to have protect from mage on to start with, and you want to try to attack the little thin guy because he's the major. He attacks first, and his attacks are really accurate. So try to kill him first, and luckily Nightmare also was using mage there, and then attack the larger one second. So all right, here's another one of his special attacks. He makes these little black circles on the ground. You just need to be not stepping on them when they pop up like that, or right before they pop up like that, I guess I should say. So I just ran away a few squares when he did that, and then back into the action. I'm back to just switching between attacks. He'll do several of these in a row before doing another special attack. Keep your thrall up there like I just did. He's doing another one here. He spawned these mushrooms. You need to stay at least 2 tiles away from these, otherwise they'll pop, they'll steadily drain your prayer, and they'll turn your auto run off, and you can't reactivate it for a while, so you have to walk, and that's really dangerous because he's going to do his little circle shadow things that pop up. So there is like a little trick that you can do. I have an example of it later in the video, I think. But if you can get, this corner to be like 3 tiles away from a mushroom, then you can just go back and forth. And I don't think I do it here because I didn't have him in a good enough spot. I didn't want to get caught by his mushroom, so I just walked away and hit him and tried to avoid these. He's going to keep doing them, but you can see once I got his shield down, it switched to the tower phase, and you have to fill these bars up all the way to get him to go into the next phase. So you're going to switch to your mage gear and attack the totems or totems there. Yeah, totem. And he's going to keep doing his normal attacks, and with a special attack mixed in there after several in a row. So we'll just chill out and mage down some totems. All right, he's going to dash across the screen again. Perfect. So yeah, Sang Staff here is where it would heal you up, pretty reliably to full, as long as you're not messing up during this totem phase. All right, so he did another black circles under the ground. Just running to the next totem here. And my thrall is about to expire. Hopefully I remembered to do that. So here we go. So yeah, I did not have piety on because I'm maging. So I switched to my torture, my melee amulet, and the ham joint. Attack the mage guy first, and then the ranger. Just keep paying attention to the prayers as the auto attacks. This is really the longest. You spend probably the most time doing the towers. All right, so he spawned his mushrooms, and this was unfortunate. It spawned it right underneath me, and I didn't move away in time, so he actually got me with the yawn. You'll see I was yawning, and my prayer is going to be draining, and I can't run. But all right, so once you fill up all of the totems, then he's going to spawn sleepwalkers. First time you do the totems phase, get the totems all charged up, he'll spawn 1, then next time it's 2, then next time it's 3, then next time it's 4. And after the 4th one is the enrage phase. So when there's just one, it's, you just switch to your ranged weapon, my crossbow, and he goes down like that, no problem. And then as soon as he dies, though, switch to your spec weapon. If you're slow like me, you'll have 100% spec, and you can spec him twice after that first phase. So we'll get our melee prayers on here again. Spec him out, and then back to your bludgeon. All right, so this one is a really good phase to get when you're meleeing him with the shield down. It's fine when you're maging, but it's really great when you're not. So you need to be in the square or the 4th of the screen here that has the bright looking flowers in it. Otherwise, well, it's just bad news. So you need to be in there and then stand right next to this corner tile, and we're going to go in and out during his attacks here and dodge every single one of them. So when you're in here, he'll make a little weird warbly sound, and then you'll hear a faint like talk sound, like a clock, like a talk, and that talk is when you're going to click him to attack. And then as soon as you step back out, you click the tile to get back in. So let's see it in action again here. Talk, back in. Talk, back in. You just keep doing that. You'll dodge all of his attacks, and you'll do a bunch of, hopefully, do a bunch of damage to him. All right, so that special that he just did, it switches the prayer order here. So when you activate a prayer, it actually activates the one to the right, your protect prayers. So protecting for mage is going to activate missiles, missiles is going to activate melee, melee is going to activate mage. So I often just camp protect for missiles on so that I have my protect for melee on, just so that I don't have to think about reacting quite as much. Oh, so I actually got to the tower phase there, so we're going to mage him down while just focusing on our prayers. He doesn't do a special attack until this like prayer shifting thing is over, so you can just count on it being auto attacks until he is done. And you can it does play a sound when it ends there. You know, it's either when he usually he'll do another special right after. Sometimes he'll just keep auto attacking, so just pay attention to a sound. It kind of sounds like, I don't know, some weird dust settling. And just keep an eye on your prayers and make sure that you've got the right one activated. So he just did the parasite move there, where this little fly flew at you, and you're going to see my mouse is over my health orb. Clicking that when it turns light pink is going to drink your Sandfew serum or your balm, and that's going to prevent you from taking major damage when it bursts out of your chest like an alien from the movie Alien. So after he does the parasite thing and lays its egg in you, then he's going to do 3 or 4. He'll do 4 attacks before it bursts out of you. You can see I wasn't really paying attention here. So after 3 attacks, usually I'll get my Elder Maul and my Torture and put Piety on. Make sure I have Super Combat. You need all 4 of those this time instead of just 3. You needed 3 to one-shot the husks with your ham joint or your event RPG. For the parasite, you need your big 2-handed weapon, your amulet, piety, and the divine super combat to one-shot it. So I'm going to very slowly do this while he there. I popped him for 55. So it's more important to kill him fast during the melee phase because he heals him up very fast. You can heal him for like 76 health if you're not paying attention. So it's important to like run away after he does that 3rd attack, so it pops out of your chest when you're far away from him, so he can't get close and heal. It doesn't matter quite as much on the towers I've found, but still good to kill him right away. So all right, so he did the flower thing again, and I'm maging, so I'm not going to do the corner trick. But one thing that is kind of nice is like every time you see these new ones start spawning, you can kind of tell where they're going to be. And if you're just clicking like 3 or 4 tiles away, usually you'll be out of the like dense clump of them that surrounds you. And keep your staff on long range for this, so that you can attack towers outside of the quadrant that you've been locked into. So it is important. You can see there I drank my super combat. It's important to keep that up so that you can one-shot parasites and husks when you're not paying attention and doing more damage during the melee phase. So all right, so back to the middle after we got the towers charged. You want to be in the middle with your ranged weapon, and there'll be 2 sleepwalkers. You can just comfortably range these 2 down. It doesn't really matter a whole lot until there's 3 at once. Then you have to get really sweaty with the ham joint there. I'll show you how that works. So all right, so let me go back to his health just a minute after we killed both of these guys. So he is... All right, so he's after 2, we have another normal phase like this. This is the last normal phase. After this, things change just a little bit. He's going to deactivate your prayers. All right, he just did the prayer swapping thing, so protecting mage for his ranged attack there. There was the melee one. See, it's faster than the mage and range protection, but it's honestly not that much faster once you get the hang of it. All right, well, that was a great mushroom spawn, mushroom placement. So I'm going to do the little tick-tock attack thing here. Just do a ton of damage with zero risk. It's very, very nice. I would really recommend mastering this technique if you're ever going to be doing this more than once, honestly. All right, keeping thralls up. So I've got Piety, Super Combat. I already had my amulet on. I got the skinny major down first, and then the ranger. Then we're on to the totems. I think I do mess up one of my prayer swaps at some point here. So we'll see me take a bunch of damage. And you can see there, actually that was kind of, I was not intending to, but I stepped a tile away from him when he was doing the melee and it didn't even hit me. So, that is one thing you can be doing is during the totem phase, you can just be kind of running around and he won't catch you or do the melee, or if you're in the process of moving, it just won't hit you. All right, and you can do the little corner trick every time he does that, but when it's just a single black spiral thingy, I just find it easier to just click away a few tiles, and it almost never hits me. All right, so mushrooms, I'm just trying to be very careful not to get within 2 tiles of them so they don't pop and make me walk. That's actually, that one got me at the end there. And that's probably the most dangerous thing that can happen during this entire fight is hitting a mushroom when you're, not close to him. Because when you can't run, it is really hard to avoid them. I died a lot of times due to that. All right, so we're on our last totem here. This was a good example of what not to do. Don't stand under him like ever, because he spawned these husks, and I had to right-click to find them, and I was panicking, so I really messed up. I'm going to take some damage from the major there, but it wasn't, they can hit hard. They can hit 20s. Luckily, it only hit an 8 on me, but that's a good way to use a bunch of food, is to let the husks hit you. All right, so after this one, he's at 1600 health. So after this totem goes down, we're going to see our 3 sleepwalker phase. So I got my crossbow on. Now, what you need to do here is you click one of them as fast as you can, and as soon as you see that EXP drop, click another one. And as soon as you see that EXP drop, you're going to click like a tile over here so that you run towards where this guy is coming from, or any of them, doesn't matter which one. Get your ham joint on and try and attack him quickly before he gets to the nightmare, because if he makes it to him, he's going to hit you for 60 damage or so. So yeah, so you can see I got those 2, quickly switched to my ham joint and popped him at the last second. You do get a little bit more time when there's 4 sleepwalkers, so it's about as difficult as the 3. Don't get too freaked out by there being 4. All right, so now that he's down to 800 health, he's going to turn off your prayers if he's attacking with what you have selected. So if I have protect from missiles or range on and he starts doing a ranged attack, it's going to deactivate my prayer. So it doesn't really help to camp anything here. You can turn them off after each attack because he's going to, you're either going to have to switch or he'll deactivate it anyways. You can get better at this by just turning them off the whole fight instead of waiting for the last phase, but I'm lazy, so I like to just try to leave it on. So, all right, dump your specs out. You can safely dump them and have 100 by the time he enraged. All right, so he did the parasite. There's 1 attack. Let's see if I do a better job this time. 2 attacks, 3 attacks, and there we go. I got my Elder Maul on, made sure that I had Piety on. Boom, 55, and you're back to the fight. All right, so this is again more of the same until he gets down to all the towers charged up one more time. So I'm going to do the little tick-tock corner trick. You see there's kind of a rhythm to it. And once you get it, you will never mess it up. We're almost to the towers here. There's a melee. I got it. I thought I messed up on one of these, but maybe I didn't. He's gonna dash across the screen, so just barely made it out in time that time. Make sure you keep your prayer up, your divine super combat up, your thrall summoned. Just methodically take down these towers. Parasite. I guess one little tip while we're kind of waiting for things to get interesting again is if you get hit with a parasite and you're on your last tower, just wait. Oh, see, I messed up. I was too slow there and I got hit for a 71. But you really don't want a special attack to happen as you're going into the Sleepwalker phase because it just complicates things. So if it feels like one is coming up, he's been auto attacking for a while. I would just wait until he does a special attack and then finish charging up the tower right after he does that special attack. That way you'll be safe during your Sleepwalker phase. All right, one more tower. We're almost there. My fastest kill time is like 9 minutes and 50 seconds or something. So, I'm obviously not great, but when I first started, like my first or second kill was like 15 minutes. So it does get, quite a bit faster once you know what you're doing if you're getting really slow times at the start. All right, so I'm going to end my tower while I'm standing in the middle. Make sure my ham joint is over in a spot where I can easily get to it. I like to put it in that top corner. So you can see I clicked that one, and as soon as that EXP drop, I clicked another one, XP drop, another one, and then I'm clicking towards the last one, ham joint, pop. There we go. All right, so for this enrage phase, a little bit different again. Get your spec weapon up if you have it. If not, no worries. But you're going to want to put redemption on because he's not going to attack you with anything. He's just going to do the little black spiral thing over and over, and sleepwalkers are going to walk from the edge to him. Every time they get to him, they'll pop you for 15 damage. So this is nice because if you do drop below that threshold, it'll heal you up, and then you can, drink a dose of prayer, put redemption back on, or you can eat every once in a while too if you want to. But it's just a nice safety net. But with a spec weapon, you'll sometimes even kill him before a single sleepwalker gets to him. But really, he doesn't have that much health. So, we're going to do this corner trick last time just to finish out the fight. There's a sleepwalker. I'm going to get hit for 15. I hit a bunch of zeros here. Normally, it doesn't take quite this long. But eventually, he will die. And that's it. I got a Nightmare staff drop like before Phosani existed, when regular Nightmare came out, and it was only worth 10 mil. That's the only drop I've ever gotten from my like 200 kills between regular and Phosani's. So I'm thinking I deserve a Harmonized Orb. So all right, well, hopefully you enjoyed that long and painful Phosani Nightmare kill. Let me know if there's any other tips that I missed in this. Otherwise, we'll see you with some Varlamore bids next time. All right, have a good night.